your position.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
what college did you attend?
Went to West Virginia University in Morgantown, West Virginia.
Awesome. And one more side note is
Yeah.
one of the reasons he wants us to record is so we're not like frantically typing
Yeah.
responses. So I'm not gonna be typing or
Oh.
being distracting. So just throw that out there. And then next question was when you were attending West Virginia University, what was your major?
I started in journalism, but switched it to public relations. So my major was public relations,
Okay.
business minor.
Okay. What made you make that switch? What motivated? Well, I guess that was my next question. What motivated you to major? in
When I
public
first went to
relations?
college, I wanted to be a newspaper writer.
Okay.
And then I saw this part. As a newspaper writer, I was introduced to this PR world, and I liked it better, so
Right,
I just
absolutely.
switched. And I switched early enough where it didn't cost me any time or anything. So.
Awesome. Yeah, when you're getting like your general
Yes.
classes out of
Yep,
it.
absolutely.
No, I understand that. And what were you involved in any clubs or any other forms of like on-campus activities?
I worked at the student newspaper for a couple years,
Right.
and I also worked in their sports information communications office within the athletic department.
Okay, awesome. And then once you made the decision to major in public relations, what was your dream job?
Dream job was working honestly in athletics because
Really?
I found this exact same office at West Virginia and saw what they did
Mhm.
with the sports team. So working in public relations in athletics, now I didn't know if it would be college or pros. I'm a big Steeler fan, so I thought about the Steelers
Right.
too, but ended up being in college.
Okay.
So yeah, just honestly, this kind of was the dream job, working in college athletics.
I gotcha. I understand. And then I think I read that you were a Pittsburgh native.
Yeah,
correct?
from Pittsburgh.
So
And
how did-
Pittsburgh's only about, well, I was looking at schools to play soccer, to be
Okay.
honest with you,
Oh, okay.
and a scholarship fell through. So then West Virginia was right on the border of Pittsburgh.
Mhm.
Pittsburgh doesn't have a communications school, University of Pittsburgh.
Right.
I really wanted to go there. West Virginia has a very good journalism school, and West Virginia is 5 minutes on the Pennsylvania border.
Right.
So from my house, it was probably about an hour, 15 minutes.
Okay.
So it
that's-
was far enough away where you had to drive, but
Yeah.
not too far. So.
No, I completely understand. I'm about 45 minutes
Yeah.
from home, so it's like a good distance, but not too far.
Plus, I mean, West Virginia's just huge with athletics, basketball, football.
Right.
I want to go to a big athletic school.
Well, I mean, their football team this year. I mean,
Yeah,
you got
they're
good
doing
talent.
pretty well.
I kind of wish we played.
Wish
more.
they would have came down here too. Yes.
But then again, like at the same time, I don't know if I would have went to the game just because of
Okay.
other conditions. But I mean,
Yeah.
I do wish we would have played them. We just had a different time. And then my next question is: did you take any additional steps while you were completing your undergraduate degree for public relations to help prepare you for the real world?
Just getting experience working the student newspaper a little
Right.
bit, but more working for their athletic department,
Absolutely, I understand.
getting those internships, student hours. I was actually a paid student assistant there,
Oh, really?
so
That's
that,
awesome.
That helped too, obviously.
Yeah,
with some
absolutely.
cash.
Because a lot of them are unpaid.
Yes,
and
a lot
there's
of
not-
them are volunteer. So.
Absolutely, so that's crucial. And then it's like all about who you know. So
Yep.
I'm sure
Yeah,
you
that's
made
the
a lot
thing. You have to
of networking.
network. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And then when you were in college, did you? I guess you kind of answered this question already.
Mhm.
Did you visualize yourself working where you are now, or did you visualize yourself somewhere else?
I kind of
I guess you visualize yourself as
in the
Steelers.
same field, yes, because
Right.
I also had the opportunity, even though I was only there for a year, I got to travel with like the women's basketball team.
Right.
So I got to see what not just working in the office, working home events, but being on the road and all that was. So
Absolutely.
that was a good experience for me.
Right. And did you enjoy like traveling and everything?
Yes,
Came
I
along with
did. I
that?
still enjoy traveling for the
Mhm.
most part. Depends if you win or lose sometimes, to be honest with you.
Yes,
But
sir.
no, me and my wife, we travel a lot, and I've got to go a lot of places because of working in athletics.
Right.
That has helped.
Yeah, I saw online you did like a lot of the ACC champions.
Yeah,
so-
ACC
and, like,
championships,
Atlanta and stuff.
NCAA, and just anytime you play a school, you go somewhere. So yeah, I've been fortunate to travel a lot in the U.S.
That's awesome. I love traveling.
because of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And then getting more into your current position. So, what is the title of your current position?
Director of Athletics, Digital Communications. When I first got here, our office was sports information, and then it went to media relations, then communication. So it's been evolving as
Right.
our duties have evolved too.
Mhm.
But right now, it's Director of Athletics, Digital Communications.
Awesome. And then I think I saw it online, but I wanted to ask, how long have you held your position?
It's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because you've been here.
I've
since
been here since
99.
'99 in this office, and
Right.
I've gotten different job titles and moved kind of different sports. I think maybe 4 years or so in this current role.
Okay. Awesome. And then, What was your previous position between college and moving here in '99? Like, what was your previous position not associated with NC State, or was there?
Honestly, I didn't. This was my first job
Really?
out of
So
college.
just
I
like
came.
the newspaper?
Yep, I came down here as an intern, and
Okay.
I've just been here ever since. Yeah,
Awesome.
so NC State was honestly my first employer out of college. So.
Okay, you just loved it, stuck with
Yeah,
it?
loved it, and also moving around different jobs. I think that has helped here
Right.
too, so it doesn't get stale.
Right, so you get a little bit of everything.
Yes, yep.
That's awesome. That's kind of like what I'm trying to interview for right now is like rotational
Uh-huh.
programs where I can move
Yeah.
around every 6 months.
I joke with people. I say I'm institutionalized. I can't, leave, but no, it's worked out great. So.
Awesome. That's all that matters. And then, what do you like most about being the director of athletic digital communications?
In that role, I think I get to work with football and wrestling, and then I do our website. So I think that's a large variety of stuff. Obviously, I'm a huge football fan.
Yeah,
Wrestling I really like because of my
Mhm.
dues with them. And then website, I feel like that's setting me up for whatever I want next outside of college athletics, getting away from teams and all that. So
Right.
just the variety of work, different season of work. And
Right.
this job is kind of like you have your job description, but different stuff can pop up every day. So you just
Mhm.
don't know. It's not 9 to 5. It's not Monday through Friday.
Right.
So I think that's all entails everything.
Awesome. So it's kind of like different stuff every
Yeah,
day.
absolutely.
So,
You just get to try some different stuff.
And then, following that question, what do you dislike most about your position, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, everybody hates. I mean,
Yeah, everybody
say
hates the
something.
question.
To be honest, sometimes this time of year, work-wise, I work 6 days a week. That in that seventh day, I'm working from home the whole day. So
Wow.
yeah, you really don't get a day off, to be honest with you. So that
That's
can
awful.
wear on you a little bit.
Right.
So that's
How do you deal with that? Like, what do you do to
Uh,
like, relieve stress?
balance. Try to not be on a computer. Like I'm behind a computer all day. So when I go home, I try not to turn on the computer unless it's for work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to travel a lot. I like play sports, work out. But yeah, sometimes the work, and it's hard too when your team's not winning.
Right.
We still have to perform our same duties
Mhm.
in publicizing our teams. But like, for example, after a Clemson game,
Yeah, it's
what are
like-
you going to say about that? But you still have to treat it. So it can get hard. And,
Right.
you know, when the media's bashing you, it's not as fun and all that. So.
I gotcha. I never thought about it like that. So I guess like your position at Clemson might be more engaging because they win a lot more. I guess.
Yes.
But it's still fun.
Yeah.
You just gotta take the wins with the losses.
Absolutely, yeah, and you know, you just hope that your coaches mainly treat you the same, win or lose, and most
Right.
do. So, you know,
Absolutely. You have good relationship with like Doran. And
yeah, you
the
have to have
wrestling
good.
coach?
You have to have good relationships with your coaches because one, you just have to be integrated as part of that team. You have to know what's going on and all that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, you have to have very good relationships with the coaches and with the student athletes.
Absolutely. And then I guess you kind of answer this question. How does your previous experience with the student newspaper at West Virginia University and the Daily Athenaeum, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. How does
Yeah.
that help you in your current role? Does that just like, help you prepare?
Yeah, that was a good starter point. I
Right.
mean, you in this job, no matter what you're doing, you have to be a good writer because you're writing stuff constantly.
Mhm.
I'm not the best writer, but you try to get more and more experience.
Absolutely.
So just working the student paper, just learning the ins and outs and seeing what's going on in this world. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to necessarily work in college. You just want to have fun, but
Absolutely.
and more and more, you have to start earlier and earlier getting the student volunteer stuff. So.
Get experience.
Yeah,
under your
absolutely. Yeah, it's just good experience
No, I
and just
understand.
networking too, like you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
getting to meet more people.
Yeah, it's not about who you know, it's about how
Yeah,
you
I
know.
would have never knew that this existed if I didn't work at that student
Right.
newspaper. So
Yeah, that's how I found out about my degree too. Actually, it's a very similar situation. And then my next question: how many employees and/or interns do you supervise currently?
we currently have employees. We kind of have one guy that writes for the website. We have 2 interns, but I don't think they're under anybody in particular. They're just kind of
okay.
in our office,
Absolutely.
if that makes sense.
Okay, that makes
So-
more sense. So you don't have anybody like.
I
under your
cannot
direct
I
supervision?
cannot fire anybody if I wanted to. No.
I understand. Well, I guess that's good in a sense. 'Cause you
Yeah.
have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
That's not a fun conversation to have. And then, so what are your relationships? I know we spoke about the coaches. What are your relationships like with student athletes here at State?
Student athlete, we're in our job. We're the ones that ask them to do the media interviews. You know,
Mhm.
if I text guys all the time or call guys, set up interviews, but especially after games, you have to go in the locker
Right.
room and get them. So you have to be familiar with all of them,
Mhm.
and you know, just to tell their stories too. You know, we provide. If you're watching a TV broadcast, the announcers, when they're talking about your team, we're the ones that provide those details.
Right.
You know, like, yeah, those guys do their homework, but we're the ones giving, like, you know, Reggie Gillespie, he has a daughter, so we tell them that. We tell them the family
Really?
background.
I didn't know
That's
that.
how they tell that story on TV is from
Mhm.
us. So we're kind of the liaison between the players
Right.
and the media, and we're trying to tell the story of the players to the media.
I got you.
So you have to have a close relationship with
Absolutely.
your student athletes because you have to know their story.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to, traveling helps a lot too. When you're traveling with this group, you see everybody on the plane, you see everybody at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps tremendously in forging the relationships. And
Right.
like wrestling, I do the podcast for them. So
Mm-hmm.
like, what am I going to interview these guys if I don't know them? So you have to
Exactly.
know them before and ahead of time.
Right. No, I guess I never thought about it like that, but I guess that is a good point. I never knew that y'all did all that.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of like
Yeah.
behind closed doors.
Yeah,
sometimes.
because you know, we have conference calls during the week with TV
Mhm.
people. If we have a home game, TV people come here on Friday and meet with us. When we go on the road, you know, one of my first duties is go and talk to the TV people, see if they need anything. So constant communication.
I got you. I understand. And then my next question is kind of more of an assumption. So I guess your relationships with these coaches and student athletes vary by sport because you're mainly focused in football and
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, if you asked me to go do something for swimming, I don't know
Yeah.
anybody on the swimming team,
Exactly.
but every person in our office is assigned certain sports.
Right.
So they are assigned that.
So it has like their own segment.
Yeah, so like I might know the basketball players, but I don't know them on a level to interact with them too much or do
Right, or
anything.
set
But
that energy.
yes, but like
Yeah.
football, and that's why I couldn't do anything this morning. I'm over at practice every day. We do interviews every day, so that's how you get to know your guys
Oh, okay.
through that.
I understand. And then next question. So who is your supervisor and what is their title? Or do you have one?
Yeah, Fred Demer. I wish I didn't. Fred Demarest, he's a senior associate AD
Okay.
for our office and our graphics office.
Mhm.
So he's in charge of us here.
Okay. Interesting. And then I think this is my final question. What is y'all's succession plan? Like if somebody in your position or like one of your associates in a similar position for different sports like leaves or gets a promotion with another school, like what is your
Yeah.
succession plan to fill that in?
We're just constantly evolving too, because we do so much more website. Where we used to rely on newspapers to tell our story, now we're kind of telling our own story.
Right.
But we have 2 full-time interns who are post grads,
Mhm.
so we've relied on elevating interns. And sometimes you just do an external search, and if one person leaves during the season, some people we might have to absorb their job for a couple months or something.
Right.
Like if our baseball contact can't do baseball, someone might have to step up and do baseball for a little while.
Right.
So
Does that have an effect on like?
yeah, it
your,
definitely has an effect
performance?
because we're doing all social media, we're working all events. I mean, it's
Mhm.
tough, and also in our profession, you really don't move during the school year because it's really tough.
Right.
Most of the movement is May, June, and July because that's the summer months when it's off. So
Mhm.
yeah, if stuff happens during the school year, it's definitely a lot harder. During the summer,
Okay.
it's a lot easier to adapt. But I'd say probably people absorbing a job would probably be the first thing we do rather than hire somebody right away.
Exactly, because you gotta like try to find someone who can have those same relationships with those student athletes
Yeah,
and
it's
everything.
tough.
And do you
Yeah.
think that has like a negative impact on the student athletes if someone in your position were to like switch out of nowhere and they got someone new in their
I
position?
think it could a little bit, but they also know, like our football players know they have the duty to do interviews and all that.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they're still going to have to do it if I
Regardless.
ask them or someone off the street asks them.
Regardless, yeah.
So, I don't think it changes too much. Just being around them, though, would change a little bit, or the social media aspect. Like, it's hard to ask a brand new person who's never seen NC State play to do the social media feed for a game. You
Right.
just don't know. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, you just have to adapt.
Yeah, just gotta.
And you hope you have a lot of
flow.
interchangeable parts here, too.